Hey guys, and welcome to today's first impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a soon to be released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Builder Simulator, which is honestly one of the most comprehensive and in-depth simulators that I have played for a while outside of the big ones like Farming Sim and Euro Truck Simulator. It is very well put together. It plays really smooth. The tutorial is fantastic, although it is a little bit on the long side. I feel that maybe they could have merged some of the steps into one, but overall, really impressed with this game. As always, we'll look at the options first, then we'll jump straight into the game, and I will show you what I like, what I don't like, and give you my first impressions. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? Alright, so your options then. There's quite a few here, some of which I'm not overly a fan of the way they've done it. You have your general settings, which is your language, invert mouse, head bobbing is on by default, I have switched it off, your mouse sensitivity, and then your FOV. Your controls shows you for both gamepad and keyboard and mouse, which is kind of nice. There is a few issues with the controller if you've got it plugged in. The idea is that it's meant to switch between the two seamlessly, but it kind of just gets confused as to which one you're using. So it just kind of constantly flashes at you. It got so bad that I actually unplugged my controller completely and just used keyboard and mouse. So it is worth bearing in mind that they've not quite tweaked that perfectly. Your graphics options, they have done something that annoys the ever-loving hell out of me. I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but they've gone with these side-scrolling bars here, which are never-ending. So you can get to like the top one, and if you press one too many times, you will go back to the beginning. Honestly, a drop-down menu is just so much better and so much easier, or at least making it so that it stops when you get to the highest or the lowest variable. Just a personal sort of quip of mine, especially when it comes to the resolution, considering there are so many resolution options to choose from in this game, which is good, but having to scroll through each one individually is it's just time consuming where it doesn't need to be. If they could change this and make these into drop down menus, it would just be so much better. But you do have a fair amount here. You've got grass distance, shadow, textures, post-processing, general quality, frame rate, VSync, etc. All of this good stuff. There is a lot here. It would be nice if they had some AA and some other options as well. But what they've got is pretty comprehensive and the game does run fairly smooth. And then your sound options. Sound options are a bit weird because the master volume was turned all the way up to maximum and then your other volumes were turned like this is how it was default except for the master. Bit odd, and the music is a little bit overpowering. I feel like maybe just having the master volume set to like 50% as default would be a lot better. Overall, pretty comprehensive menu. A few little quality of life changes here or there just for my subjective benefit would be very much appreciated. Let's look at the gameplay and see what we have on offer, shall we? Alright then, here we are. So we've gone with a sandbox mode, which allows you to just choose any of the maps with any of the different areas and how big of a map you want. We've gone with medium. There is 7x7, 16x16 and 30x30 plots of land to build your house. Over here you will find all of the bog standard materials, namely things to make concrete, mortar, etc. And then once you've done that, once you've had a look around there, you've got your tool wheel, which allows you to pick from any of the tools that you're going to need for different various areas of the house. So certain things are going to be for indoors, like the plastering tool, your skimming blade, your drill is going to be mostly for indoor work, your plaster gun, your working platform is going to be inside as well. Then you've got your skirting for outdoors. You've got your trowel, which is going to be used for laying your bricks and stuff. Your bucket of water, which you're going to need for making cement and mortar. Your floor templates and stuff like that. So there's everything you're going to need on this middle wheel. Once you've done that and had a look around there, you can then start to plan your home. Now this is where it gets really in depth and really kind of cool. If we interact with it here, we have a number of options. We can choose to make our own, and you can basically just draw whatever you want and make it a house with your load bearing walls, your partition walls, your concrete walls, and then you can put a path in if you so desire, a front door, interior door, windows which have got different sides, a staircase to then make different rooms. You can add more floors, all that good stuff. I am not creative for that. What I will say is that these bearing walls are quite difficult to see once you get going. It becomes very hard to tell the difference between a bearing wall and the background sometimes, which is a bit of a problem. It would be nice if they either changed the color of it or made it sort of stand out with a different like border or something. Just something to bear in mind for those of us that are colorblind. Like I say, we are going to be lazy, so I'm going to load up one that I started earlier. And again, this is a random project, which is really nice. If you're not really feeling that creative, but you want to do something kind of cool, you can just make a random project and there you go. It's there, you can save it, and then you can go back to it any time. Then what you'll need to do is hit the check button, which will make sure that all requirements have been met, i.e. it's got windows, it's got doors, it's got load bearing walls in the right place, it's got concrete walls, etc. It's got everything that you need, and then you will hit confirm. Once you confirm your plan, you'll see that it will come out with an outline for your building, and this is where you start to really get into the game. I'm not going to be going through every stage of the game today because it takes a fair while, but I will try and show you some of the mechanics of the game. So as you can see, you can press Q to hide this list at any time, but if you're ever stuck or unsure on what to do, you can press Q and bring up the list. So you can install the foamworks, you can install reinforcements, you can start the concrete mixer, you can pick up the wheelbarrow and do all that. But first what we're going to do is we're going to take our shovel and you're going to dig along the line to dig out the foundations. Now I actually struggled with this a little bit when I first started the game because the shovel is very, very pedantic. It's the most pedantic of all of the tools because the idea is that you can just hold down the left mouse button and dig out the area, but if you're not looking at the specific area itself, it becomes quite a hassle and quite a problem. Now once you get into the bigger areas and you're not doing the foundation like edges, it's not so much of a problem, but it's something that's been designed to try and make your life easier, and unfortunately it kind of isn't. Now don't get me wrong, I really, really do adore this game. I think this game has so much potential and is something that I can very much see myself playing for a very long time, but at the same time there are a few things that seem like they've been a little bit overlooked. Like I say, when you've got the controller plugged in, it kind of flashes between controller buttons and keyboard buttons all the time to the point that I just unplugged it completely. Now, the other cool thing about this is when you've done a task and it's ready for the next one, you get these little highlights or holograms that show you what you need and where they need to go. And that's where the shop comes in. So this is the shop. It's got everything in it that you would ever need to build a house. And it's up to you to kind of discern what it is you do and do not need. But again, the list on the side will be able to tell you. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy some formwork and we're going to buy some reinforcements. Now, instead of just buying one at a time, you can click this and it will go all the way up to 100. And then you can buy lots in 100. And that just makes it a lot easier, and that will go to your inventory. You can sell the things once you finish building them and get some of that money back, but again we're in sandbox mode, so it doesn't really matter because as you can see we've got unlimited funds. That would very much play more of a part in like contract mode and stuff like that in challenge modes. Then all you do is you select the thing that you need and then you just place it. Again, you can just hold down the left mouse button and go through and move along and place everything you need. Now, you have got to be careful because if you miss one, you will have to go back and find it because otherwise your house isn't going to get built and it's going to be a mess, and that's an issue. And again, movement and moving the mouse and stuff is going to take a little bit of getting used to. on bigger areas, it's not going to be too much of a problem. And then you just go through and build your house. Build it up. You have walls to do. You know, you can put tiles on. You can select what type of tiles. You can select different paints and stuff. They have a full list of different sort of interior designs and bathrooms and kitchen things and stuff. So when you're in sandbox mode and money is literally no object, you can literally do whatever you like, however you like, whichever way you want to go. And I am a big fan of that. I love the creativity. Like I say, it's sort of like House Flipper if House Flipper took some steroids. It's very much that sort of a feel. And I love how in-depth it is. The graphics look great. It plays really smooth. The voice actor that plays Bill Durr, yep, they went that cheesy and that punny, is really good. The voice acting in the game is very well done. The tutorial is very in-depth. Maybe a bit long in the tooth in some areas, and the fact that they sort of separate a lot of it where they don't need to. They could probably condense a lot of it. I am a big fan, and I would play, or at least advise you to play the tutorial just to get all of the funny lines and get a really good grip on how this game plays, because otherwise you will probably get quite lost. But there you go. This is Building Simulator, where you will literally build a house and many houses and do all of the good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.